Alright, so, Banba and Forsaken, you guys have just exited the vet clinic. The area is still pretty desolate. There's not a lot uh, foot traffic or even car traffic going on. The streetlights have just started to come on as you guys exit. What are your guys' current plans now that Forsaken has healed some?
I'm going back home and text everyone that we'll meet them back there.
Agreed.
All right. What exactly is the text message that you're sending? Say.
Forsaken looks a little better. It's getting dark out. I hope you guys come back soon. I'll make tea once you get home. See you soon.
All right. Just because there's a little bit of a time difference right now, For and Craig, do you guys respond to that text message when you saw it pop up?
Can we?
Yes.
When would it have been sent?
Just before dark. So, 4 would have probably been at the library during this time.
I mean, I'll reply with I'm just out doing research. I'll be back eventually.
Craig sees it, but doesn't reply because he thinks he'll be back in time.
Yeah, it takes a while for you to receive their messages, but you do get 4's response about the time that you get home.
Went to get ice cream. That's what I wrote.
All right. Yeah, you get them about the time that you arrive home to the empty manor.
Okay. Forsaken, you want to get some more rest or some tea?
Nah, I think we're good for now. Where is everybody?
Craig, Aoife, and the child got ice cream. 4 is doing research out of nowhere. And I guess they'll all be coming back soon?
As you make your way into the kitchen, you actually see the fort that Aoife had created. It's a relatively good pillow fort type deal.
In the kitchen?
In the living room. You have to go through the living room to get to the kitchen.
Okay. I take a peek underneath.
You can see where a flashlight was not turned off, and it's just kind of laying there underneath the blankets.
I'm gonna turn it off, save energy. I don't know. I'm gonna go just make my way to the kitchen and make tea.
All right, Forsaken.
Point of order here. How long has it been since we sent those text messages?
It took you a couple of hours to walk there, so it took a couple of hours for you to walk back.
Okay. So what you're telling me is it's been a couple hours, we've had no response whatsoever.
More or less, yes.
Okay. I'm going to go sit in the living room, and I'm going to go text everybody and see where they're at, because obviously they're not here.
At this point, Craig, you would not have been able to respond. 4, how do you respond to Forsaken's text message? You would have already been out wandering the city at this point.
Is this 4 after werewolves?
This would be a little bit before, not too much though. You're probably down that same street.
I'll just be, no one was home when I got home, so I head out to check out a second location. And, keep you updated.
It takes roughly about 30 to 40 minutes for that text message to come to you, Forsaken.
Oh, okay.
By that time, Banba, of course your tea is ready and you've probably already served it.
So I guess I'm drinking tea.
Yeah, so we're drinking tea. Nice herbal tea. You get any responses?
Says that he's downtown. He says he's alone, which doesn't bode well.
No.
Kind of worried. Waiting on an update from him. Here, at some point, we're probably gonna have to go out and look for you guys.
That was a fear. Okay, what about Craig and Aoife? Did they respond? Yep. Alright, I'm gonna go change clothes. I advise him to do the same. I remember his chest was leaking radioactive ooze. Let's dress, I think Or would say stealthy. So we could just stay out of sight and try to find them.
Alright, as you guys get changed and dressed before you guys head out, let us go ahead and head over to Craig.
I'm in a car.
Yes, you feel your phone vibrate while you're in the back seat of this car.
Oh, what does it say?
As soon as you try to take out your phone, they're like, no phones in our car.
But
just not right now. Just because of everything that's going on, the police officer continues. Just put your phone away for now.
oh, okay. But I mean, it's already in the car, so I don't. You say it's not allowed in the car.
You're not the brightest of people, are you? The cop in the passenger seat says. And the officer driving kind of looks over to him and goes, dude, just shakes his head. Within the next few minutes, they have pulled up to the police station and they open the door for you so you can get out.
Okay.
The one driving the car goes, please follow me, and leads you to a desk inside the building, which he sits down at. He gestures for you to sit down in the seat in front of him.
And I sit.
He goes, all right, so I'm going to need a quick statement from you. Because you were physical with the person, that's why we have to take a little bit more precaution. So, what exactly happened, in your own words?
We went out to get some ice cream because we weren't feeling well, so we thought, ice cream make us feel better, and it tasted good, but then made the brain hurt because we ate too fast, I guess. And then we heard people in the alleyway. We went to go look, and I saw the guy was on the floor and the 3 other people were around him taking his stuff, and I said, no, you can't do that. You're not supposed to take other people's stuff. They were taking his wallet and his jacket and his lanyard, and the guy tried to throw the lanyard, but I caught his hand before he could throw it because I'm big and strong, so I caught him. The other 2 ran away, and then we didn't know what to do after that, so they called the police, they called you guys, and then you guys came, and stuff happened. They pointed the gun at my sister. Is my sister okay?
Your sister's fine to the best of my knowledge. She's probably getting fingerprinted right now and the like. Alright, so you said there were 3 individuals, correct?
3 standing, yes, and then the 1 guy on the floor.
Alright, could you go into more detail about what they were doing when you got there? You stated they were trying to take his stuff. Were they also, kicking him or anything like that?
He did look hurt, and I didn't see them hitting him, but he looked hurt, so I assumed that they were hitting him because he was on the floor. Why would he be on the floor if they weren't hitting him?
All right. He continues to write notes in a notebook. All right. Now I do have a couple of other questions. Your sister, has she had any run-ins with the law?
What do you mean?
Has she ever been arrested before? Is she out on probation? Does she have a warrant, to your knowledge?
I don't. She never told me she had any of those things, but she'd never been arrested before. That's why we were scared when you said you were going to arrest her, because we didn't know what was going to happen.
All right. To the best of your knowledge, do you know if she has a lanyard?
Yes, she has a lanyard. She left it at home, I guess.
All right. Do you have the address of your home?
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'm gonna need that. And he taps expectantly on the paper, waiting for you to provide the address.
Do you have like a pen or a pencil or something?
He's like, no, you can just tell me. I'll just write it out.
Oh. Well, I suppose I'll just say that I give it to him.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I was expecting.
All right.
He nods and takes down the address. He goes, all right, who else lives with you?
Oh, we have a family. It's me, and then it's Aoife, and then it's Four, and then it's Forsaken, and then it's Banba, and then Cullen went somewhere. I don't know where he went, but there's Cullen, and then there's the professor, and then now we got Kira, and I think that's all for now.
He kind of blinks, and he goes, Four? Forsaken? The professor? Those don't sound like names. They sound like aliases.
They're not aliens.
He kind of purses his lips a little bit as he stares at you, and he goes, I said aliases, not aliens. Fake names. Those sound like fake names.
It was the names that they wanted, so that's what they gotted.
What? And he kind of he places his pencil down and leans on the desk towards you. What do you mean? That sounds really confusing.
Well, at a game, did we choose our own names, or did the professor give them to us?
I had speculated that he had given you your guys' names, yes. Unless you have a different take on it, that's fine. But as a blanket statement, he gave you your guys' names, unless otherwise stated.
Oh, okay. Four. You were the four. Well, those are the names that I've always had, and that's the names they've always had. So I don't. That's just what we call each other.
He writes, and you can see he's making specific notes on those three. And he goes, and you said, now you have Kira. What do you mean by that? I'm assuming Kira's the little girl that was with you guys?
Oh yeah, Kira. She doesn't like me very much, but she really likes Aoife. So she, we're helping her. We were gonna do stuff and have fun, but how do I say?
You see this look on his face when you say, have fun with her.
We made a fort, and then we went got ice cream and snacks.
So she's not yours.
I don't own her. No, I don't think you should own people. That's bad.
He continues writing notes and he goes, go on though. You were saying something about you went out looking for somebody?
Well, we wanted to get her back to her mom because I thought, we thought the kids should be with the parents, and we found the mom, but she was really sick. So I guess that's why she couldn't keep her in the house anymore. So then we were trying to decide what to do next. That's when we went to go get ice cream.
Okay, so you went to find her mother. So you found her like out on the street lost?
No, she was in a little cage. We don't know why she was in a cage. You shouldn't put little people in the cages. That's not good for people.
She was... You can see a growing look of concern on his face as he strokes his chin slightly as he thinks, writing this down. And this cage, where was it?
It was in a hotel room.
A hotel room where?
It was a really big place. I don't remember the name. I didn't look at the name, but it was really big and fancy. But they're like mean people in there, and they put people in cages. So we got her out to rescue her, so she wouldn't be in the cage anymore.
He continues writing notes, and he goes, "Oh dear. Okay." He kind of turns in his desk and starts going through different folders. And he kind of looks at one folder and he opens it and spins it around to your desk. Or to your side of the desk. And it's pictures of the country club. And he goes, "That location?"
Yeah, that's the place, the really big fancy place, and with all the people, the mean people. Yeah, that's the one.
He kind of closes it and he goes, "All right, well," he finishes writing a couple of notes and he goes, "All right, well, I think I have enough information right now. Why don't you go sit right over there and wait till I can get some news on your sister?"
Okay, it won't be long, will it?
I'm not entirely sure. It depends on how cooperative she is. If she's as belligerent as she was when we first picked her up, then it might be a little bit. But we'll let you know if that's the case.
Okay, she was just scared at that time. So she's usually really nice.
And then he kind of gestures for you to go sit down, while at the same time he stands from his desk and he slowly picks up his phone and begins to dial a number.
Okay, Greg's gonna go sit, and he's gonna look at his phone now, because we're not in the car anymore.
Yeah. Are you going to respond to the text message?
What did it say?
Forsaken, what did your text message say?
Basically, it was, hey, where you guys at?
Okay. I'm at the police. That's what I wrote.
All right. So, while you sit there and wait, can you give me a perception check?
Sure, that's...
Or are
What's
you just...
composure? What?
Yeah, or are you actually paying attention to anything going on in the room at this time?
Well, after the text, I got nothing else to do.
Okay, so yeah, give me the perception.
2!
You can hear the police officer that you were speaking with on the phone. He's trying to hush his voice as much as possible, but you can still pick up words here and there through through the office. Something about getting the federal agents here as soon as possible. But we'll go ahead and leave Craig here for a little bit. 4.
Yes.
You were heading towards the map marker that was red, correct?
Admittedly, whichever one was closest. I'm going towards the teeth necklace one, but if there's any markers on the way there, I'm stopping there first. But primarily walking towards, I think it was the red one.
All right. Well, you eventually come. It takes roughly about an hour. You're still being tailed by these wolves the entire time when you arrive at rather well-lit establishment. I'll say it like that. And all you can hear is the thumping of music. As you kind of look over the building, it has a neon sign that says Afterlife on it. There's a guarded door. The door guard, just a big guy in a relatively nice looking suit. He's got sunglasses on, despite it being nighttime. There doesn't seem to be a line to get in, but this does look like what you've heard of as a nightclub.
Okay, let's see. Does 4 just walk up to the front door? I'll use some of my new fancy abilities. So I'm gonna see if. Okay, well, is this like a guarded perimeter, or is it just a building with a guy standing at the door?
It's essentially just it's a nightclub with a bouncer in front of it.
Does it have like an alleyway I can get near without being seen by the bouncer, or?
I mean, the bouncer is looking at you since you did walk up to it, so you probably couldn't duck into an alley without him noticing at this moment, but it is something possible once he wasn't looking at you. You're the only one on the street, so of course he's gonna kind of look at you first.
Yeah. Any roofs that I can jump off of to get onto the nightclub?
There are buildings that are about the same height that you could feasibly do. There is the one right next door that you could feasibly do it from.
Well, okay, I'm gonna walk out of sight of the bouncer, kind of break line of sight, see if I can get on that building somewhere. And, I'm gonna try to get on the roof.
It's less than 20 feet, so you can parkour.
Paid for.
And I mean, with your parkour skill, I'm not even gonna make you roll to leap to the roof of the nightclub. The roof is relatively barren. It doesn't have like skylights or anything. There is an emergency exit up top, but outside of that, there's not really anything of interest on the roof.
Okay, so... okay, I'm gonna charge, what is it called? Sensorium, the vitreous humor. I'm gonna charge it up to 2 to use piercing sight.
What does that do?
It's a roll, and on a success, each success on the roll grants the Promethean 10 yards of sight through solid matter, allowing her to scrutinize objects and make further rolls to find hidden objects. She enjoys a bonus on such rolls to her ass-off. Basically, it lets me see through ultraviolet and X-ray light through things.
Alright, give me a roll.
It is Wits Composure plus ass-off.
So you can see 3 yards?
30 yards.
30 yards. Alright, so you can see into the building beneath you. You can see that the door leads down to a staircase, which leads to like a back area. You can see there's a dance floor that has a few people in it. In this time and age, this club's pretty hopping for, everything that's going down in the world right now.
Anything of, So, I have found the first marker, found there were some wolven people. So clearly, these markers mean weird stuff. Do I see anything out of the ordinary that I wouldn't expect to find? I mean, I doubt 4 really understands what a nightclub is, but is there anything suspicious around?
Roll me wits and stealth.
Okay.
You can see there are some private rooms. They seem to be private rooms, kind of in a secluded section of the building. As you kind of trace the hallways, you can kind of see that it would be relatively difficult to get back to these unless you knew exactly where you were going. You do see 2 individuals, for the lack of a better term for you, necking in the private room. One looks to be sitting down on the couch while the other one has their face buried in their neck. But outside of that, you don't see anything of interest. It's mostly just how secluded that room looks. Those rooms look.
Are there any, windows near those rooms?
No.
I'm trying to think of a way for 4 to get there, without metagaming saying, there are any vampires around? And I mean, people are gonna look at me really weird, but I'll get the attention of any of the vampires. But 4 doesn't know they're vampire. I mean, Craig said they looked like vampire teeth, but, does Craig know what he's talking about?
I mean, the emergency exit, the path, the stairwell that leads down, it wouldn't be too hard to get to those rooms from that emergency exit stairwell, especially with your vision, the way it, being able to see the path the way you can. So that is an option. Oh, you could also navigate your way actually through the front door into the building and get there that way. Those seem to be the main options. There's also a service exit, it looks like, at the back of the bar area where they probably go out to throw out the trash. So there are 3 entrances to this building that you can tell.
And none of them were good entrances. If I take a quick look at the emergency exit, does it look like it's hooked up to an alarm? Because I know some emergency exits will sound like a fire alarm if you open them. Is that something I can tell from here?
Unfortunately, not from the outside. No, it wouldn't be something you could tell.
Well, I can always run away. I'm going to open the emergency exit. And if an alarm starts sounding, I'm jumping back to the roof that I came from.
Alright, as you attempt to open the door, you do find it locked. But as you pull on it, you do feel a little bit of give. So you have a couple of options. Realistically, you could try and pick it if you have such inclination, or you could try to force the door.
Do I have the tools to lockpick?
And you don't have any points in larceny either.
No. I mean, I could take some points. My Aoife tells me what I need to know. Yeah. I feel like spending XP right before a roll is kind of cheaty. So,
You can just force the door with a strength athletics.
I guess I'm forcing the door.
Alright, also, I'll let you do this. if you want to do strength plus athletics and then subtract your stealth from that roll, you'll also force the door open without a lot of sound.
That's a very low dice pool. Yeah. Well, okay. Is this door near people? Like, I presume these winding hallways, it's not like near the dance floor. This place is pretty loud, too. Fuck it. I open the door.
Alright. You kind of have to throw your shoulder into it to jimmy the lock, but after doing that and pulling on the door, it does open. There's a pretty loud cracking sound as you open it, but no other alarms or anything go off.
Does it look like people heard me?
Not from anything you can tell. It looks like maybe the bouncer shifted a little bit in the front of the building, but you can't tell if that was just, him getting tired of standing in one position or if he heard anything.
Well, I'll give those wolves a challenge to follow me at this point. I'm going in, and I'm going to try to stealthily move towards the room with the suspicious people.
Alright, go ahead and give me a dexterity plus stealth.
God, you're really testing my luck with these dice.
You're able to dodge a couple of people that are moving, it looks like employees moving throughout these back hallways. A couple of servers, maybe like an entertainer of some sort. You're able to find where you saw the weird hallway, but it looks like a solid stone wall. If it wasn't for you knowing that there's a hallway behind it, you wouldn't be able to tell that there's a hallway behind this wall.
And there doesn't look to be any other entrance to these hallways, correct? Like, this is clearly the entrance. Okay. Well, first I test that it's actually real. I'm going to put my hand on the wall and see if I go through the wall.
It is real. Yeah, it is real. Give me a perception.
Okay, I was going to say, look for hidden handle?
You get the inspired condition for perception again. Not only do you find the hidden handle, so to speak, but you're pretty sure you could duplicate this given enough time and incorporate it into something else, should you choose to.
Ah, yes, time to build the fort for when the cops come looking for me. Okay.
Within a few moments, you're through the door and having it shut silently behind you.
Okay. I continue forward, just keeping an eye out of anything suspicious in these back hallways, because hidden doors are quite, they mean you're hiding something. I want to see what they're hiding, apart from themselves.
The lighting in this room in this hallway is rather dim. It's got a red glow to it, and each room that you pass by is shrouded by a red curtain. The individuals that you saw while you were on the roof were in the third room. Do you want to look in any of the other rooms before going to the third room, or are you just going straight to that room?
I'll look in some of the other rooms, just peeking in, but worth noting, the passive for this transmutation does basically give me dark sight. I'm able to perceive, the Promethean benefits from night sight, the ability to perceive images perfectly even in pitch darkness. This vision is essentially colorless without a faint source of light, but the Promethean can see clearly enough to read. So, might be relevant, I don't know, but I'm saying it.
It's not quite that dark. It's definitely more mood lighting. These rooms are relatively simple. They're wall-to-wall couches with a small table in the center. And every room is identical.
Okay, nothing out of the ordinary. Well, I guess I move up towards the people and see if I can, like, hear them or anything.
All you hear is a slurping sound coming from that room. And even before you started listening, that slurping sound was fairly audible while you looked at the other rooms. This place wasn't really designed with keeping sound out of these individual rooms.
Man, I've really backed myself into a corner, haven't I? Okay, how stupid is 4? Okay. So we're not doing the stupid thing yet. I'm just gonna kinda, like, stand outside the room and listen. Like, I'm just gonna stand there and listen. For a few minutes at least, and see if anything changes.
Not more than probably 30 seconds to a minute goes by before the sound stops, and you kind of hear a soft thud, as if somebody was laying back or something. You can hear feet hit the floor, so to speak, as it sounds like somebody in that room stands up.
Well, I mean, theoretically, it's still the same scene, so I can see them.
Yeah. Within the next couple of moments, the person begins to make their way towards the curtain.
I'm gonna like step back from the curtain, just kind of like lean against the wall, you know, like looking professional.
A female figure steps out and kind of gives a jump. She's got shoulder blade length, curly red hair. She's very, very pale looking. Her eyes are a lavender color, and she's very, very freckled. She kind of looks at you startled as she kind of immediately puts a hand up to her mouth and begins to rub her mouth very quickly. Can I help you?
I will say I have not quite seen a human do such a thing. I come seeking information. The last group was incredibly unhelpful.
She freezes for a second. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Very well, we'll skip the formalities and I will tell you why I'm here. I recently came into possession of, from questionable means of possession, I took it, of course. I came into possession of a necklace of teeth, and this necklace was tied to a map which brought me to here. I came seeking information about said object, and you seem to be the best person here to obtain said information.
A coy smile comes across her face, and she goes, "And how do you come to that conclusion that I am the best person to ask?"
Well, everyone else appears to be doing normal things. You appear to be hiding in a back room behind a hidden wall, doing strange things. What you're doing, I'm not really sure, but you stand out from the rest of the people here.
Well, I think that's what every girl wants to do, is stand out. She goes, "But you don't seem to know exactly what I was doing in there, do you?"
I came seeking information. I have obtained basically no information tonight. The last people I met were incredibly unhelpful with answering my questions and merely threatened me. However, the fact that you have not, so far, is already looking up.
She sighs and puts a hand on her hip She goes, so you found an item of teeth, you said?
Indeed, it was a necklace of pointed teeth, which were distinctively not human. However, they were unlike any animal I could identify. One would suspect perhaps a dog, but they were too, what's the word I want? Too narrow, too precise.
She looks over her shoulder at the room she came out of, and she goes, he's gonna come to within probably another minute or two. Let's discuss this elsewhere. And she moves past you with a kind of swaying of her body and gestures with one finger for you to follow her.
I guess I follow. I want my information. Give me knowledge, damn you. I don't say that, of course.
She takes you to what looks to be like a dressing/changing room for entertainers of sorts. She sits down on a chair and lights a cigarette and begins to smoke, and she goes, now, I'm guessing this has to do with the recent events over at that country club?
This is the case. It was there I acquired some curiosities, and I have been seeking to understand these curiosities. Yours is simply the second that I have found, that I have investigated.
She goes, I don't care what your reasons are. We work on a very simple system here. If you want information, I will provide information, but I do expect something in return. Is that fair?
Already a better deal than the last ones tried to make. You seek what?
He goes, we'll discuss that after I answer your question. Now, what you probably encountered was a trophy. It's of little meaning to anybody else. Only the people that you took it from, it would mean anything to. There was a raid roughly about 2 months ago of a group of rather adventurous people. They slaughtered the ruling court of Invictus here in Dublin. Of course, those words don't mean a lot to you. Invictus is... She pauses for a moment. If you have any notion of what old money is, they are it.
I believe they were the people I killed at the Abbey. Old money. Well, no, not at the Abbey, at the warehouse.
She kind of looks and she goes, ah, the warehouse too. You get around.
Not intentionally most of the time.
She smirks and kind of puts out her cigarette. So, those are simply just a trophy of mankind, and she flashes you a smile showing her fangs.
So you, like the other three, are not human.
I was once. You can see her doing mental math. She's like, roughly about 75 years ago. I know, I don't look a day over 21. It's kind of a gift in certain circles. But she sighs and goes, is there any other information you want?
You see, this is kind of weird because I'm not technically in silver yet, so I don't really need to know anything yet.
To be curious is to be human. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. What do we ask? I mean, hold on. Give me like 3 seconds to think. So, you hide in the back here for what reason, however? It's perhaps, I pry too much, but the last few seem to have had no quarrels with simply using their abilities in public. Yet this seems slightly more out of the way.
She kind of sighs and she goes, I don't know who or what you're referring to, but my kind has always kept to the shadows, kept to the fringes. It's not our way to be upfront. I can sense, she pauses on that word as if she's not sure it fits correctly, that you aren't human as well. I don't know what you are, but I just know you're not human.
Not yet.
Yet? What a fascinating choice of words there. Would you like to elaborate on that?
We, are not human in the sense of, well, me specifically, was never human yet. We walk a path of reaching the goal of humanity. My siblings were more once human than I was, but where bodies come from is not quite as important as the journey.
Do you... She pauses as she kind of ponders over your words. Resolve. Flush your ass off.
Can I willpower?
Yes.
I think this is a good time to willpower. Okay. So I burn a willpower, get a +3 to the roll.
You're rolling really well today.
I'm scared. I have never rolled this well in a single session. I'm horrified. What's gonna happen? I'm gonna roll like nothing next session.
You can see she kind of adjusts herself to make herself seem more prominent. But as she looks at you, it seems like as if something occurs to her, and she kind of bites her lower lip as she thinks. She goes, very interesting. So you're trying to become human. There are rituals we've heard of that do such a thing, but they're just considered urban legend for us. She sighs. Is there anything else you want to know?
I could ask the more silver-focused questions, but...
Go ahead.
Okay, how do I phrase things correctly?
While you think of how to phrase things, let's go ahead and move back to Craig. Craig, you've been sitting there for roughly about an hour and nobody has told you anything. You see a couple of people make general motions to you, but it just seems like as if they're talking to somebody else about you.
You have just finished listening to this week's chapter of Promethean the Created, 2nd edition, Fading of the Spark, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener. If you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. And as always, comments are welcomed. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, what does it really mean to be human?